We need to look very carefully at what China's rise means not just for itself, but for the world. Yes, it's true that China has lifted millions of people out of poverty and built amazing cities and industries, but that's only part of the story. The other part is about control. Control over its own people and, slowly, more and more influence over others too. Inside China, freedom is deeply limited. People can't speak freely about their leaders. Journalists are not allowed to report the truth if it goes against the government. The internet is censored. Books are banned. People who speak out, like activists and lawyers, often end up in jail or worse. The government watches its citizens all the time through cameras, phones, and social media. This is not freedom. It's fear. Now, as China becomes stronger, that system of control doesn't just stay within its borders, it spreads. China is now punishing foreign companies for saying things it doesn't like. It pressures movie studios to remove content that might offend it. It uses its money and power to silence critics overseas. This is how freedom starts to shrink, even in places where people once thought they were safe. In Hong Kong, millions of people peacefully demanded democracy. They wanted to keep the rights they were promised, but China broke that promise. Protesters were arrested, media outlets were shut down, and a national security law was forced through that ended freedom of speech in the city. What happened there is a warning. If China is willing to crush freedom in a place it once promised to protect, what will it do elsewhere? And then there's Xinjiang. Millions of Uyghur Muslims are living under constant surveillance. Many have been placed in so-called re-education camps. Their culture is being erased. This isn't just an internal matter. These are human beings whose rights are being taken away on a massive scale. If we care about freedom, we can't ignore this. Some people say China's rise is peaceful, that it's only focused on trade and development. But power doesn't always need weapons to be dangerous. When a powerful nation punishes others for speaking freely, when it helps keep other dictators in power, when it makes the world afraid to criticize it, freedom everywhere gets weaker. We're not talking about fear of China as a people or a culture. We're talking about the actions of a government that doesn't believe in freedom and what happens when that government becomes one of the most powerful in the world. This isn't about hate, it's about being honest. If we believe in free speech, human rights, and open societies, then we have to ask, are we standing up for those values, or are we staying silent out of fear? China's rise is not just an economic or political change. It's a test of what kind of world we want to live in. A world where people are free to speak, to think, and to choose, or a world where silence is forced and fear spreads across borders. That's why I believe China's rise under its current leadership and values is a serious threat to global freedom. And we need to pay attention now before it's too late.